So.
Hello and welcome everybody to the third installment of Paris Squared. It is now Wednesday, I believe. You've just parted ways with Celeste after you had a lot of wine, and she's basically told you weird things. There is not one world or two worlds, there are plenty. They're called alts, and you are on Prime. And there is a group called Itheon, and it is their job to maintain and look after the other alts and see what happens there. The alts can be still in the, I don't know, Trias with dinosaurs, or they might be a little bit further in the future. They could be completely different. Things could have developed very differently. There could be something that's the 21st century, but quite different. And basically, Itheon consists of people that are of particular origin, and you've been told that you are Jaina, which means that at some point in the long history of your ancestors, there was somebody who came from somewhere else and left their genetic markup.
Mom, Dad, we need to talk.
Exactly.
I have questions.
But probably a long, long time ago, several generations ago. And it is those people that can look beyond the veil, so they can see that there is something else, which is why you could see what was really going on in the auction house. Itheon also has operatives that are non-Jaina, that don't really know who they're working for, but they may be doing things like, running errands, running, all kinds of things, but not being at the center of knowledge, as it were. For Celeste, this is all kind of like proving to her that everything is just a big conspiracy, and she's always known this. For you, it's slightly different because you were never a conspiracy theorist. You were interested in odd stuff that you've been looking for, and you may have come across one or the other item that kind of gave you a tingly feeling. But you were probably prone to finding them because, as you now know, you are special. And Celeste has invited you to go to the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris with her at the weekend to show you where the good stuff happens. Because what they're trying to find out is, why did someone open a portal into that auction house? What were they trying to get and why? And they have acquired all remaining outstanding pieces of that were for auction, and they are in the bibliothèque, and they're trying to find out what is special about them. But so far to no avail. But they believe, since it's art, and you know from the catalogue that there were paintings there as well.
Yeah.
Somebody like you with your knowledge could be of great help. And you have agreed.
Yes, probably more out of curiosity than the belief that she can really help, but you never know what you can find out.
So, she said, well, it could be either Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't matter because they're open 24/7. The question is, do you want to do anything special between Thursday morning and the weekend? Or do you want to jump?
Not really. I think we can jump. She would do business as usual, studying for university, doing her job, helping out with the shop. And she would organize probably on Saturday or Sunday. Doesn't really matter which day. She would have a day off.
Okay, do you tell anyone? Okay.
No. Definitely no.
No. Okay. So you wake up on Saturday.
She doesn't really she heard it, and she believes that Celeste believes what she's saying.
Yes.
Amelie does not believe what she heard. So she would have really troubles to explain to someone else why on earth she's going.
Okay. So it's Saturday morning. You hear scratching at your door and a loud meowing.
I will look at the watch, and since it's probably time to at least slowly start moving, she would get up, she would open the door, and would let a certain kitty inside.
He looks at you. He wants to be picked up.
She will pick him up and she will plonk him into the bed that is obviously still warm, and will cover him in the blanket that he can still peek out, but it's really cozy, and he will get some scratches.
He's purring loudly.
I will need to go to the bathroom and get ready. Enjoy the bed. And she will then walk over to the bathroom and will take a shower, clean teeth, and all the things you do in the morning.
Okay, do you have breakfast?
Yes, she would have a coffee and probably croissant or something like that. It's France. It's a small breakfast.
Okay, petit déjeuner.
Yeah.
It's I rolled a 7, so you're actually alone. Nobody else is there, except for the cats. But you can tell that they've been fed because they're now hoping for second breakfast.
Yeah, the cats probably show as if they've not been fed, but I can see it.
Yeah.
That maybe there's a little corner of food somewhere or so, and she will just look around like, no, you're not getting another breakfast. You will all turn fat and lazy.
Huge meows of complaint from everyone. They're gonna, I mean, like, the service in this establishment is terrible.
It's terrible.
What are you thinking?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know where the Bibliothèque Nationale is. You go there, probably taking public transport, or are you gonna borrow the car? Okay, you take.
No,
public
I will
transport.
take public transport.
You arrive, I want to say, at around 11. You, what do you want to do? Do you want to go inside and check it out, or do you want to wait outside, or what do you want to do?
No, I would go inside.
Have you actually swapped phone numbers that you could text each other? You and
I
Celeste.
would suspect yes. I don't think we said it explicitly, but latest with the meeting, the last meeting, I think they would exchange phone numbers because Amelie would have let Celeste know when roughly she would arrive at the bibliothèque.
Okay, so you walk inside. It is a huge building, very beautiful. But as you walk inside, it's kind of a little less spectacular than one might think, because this is the Bibliothèque Nationale, so you can't just walk in and take out books. So it's more like a huge counter. And there are several, I want to say 12 or so PCs standing on the counter. Behind each is a librarian, and people are queuing. There are also PCs for everybody who comes in. Well, not for everybody, but there are certain PCs that you could use to check the catalog, that kind of thing. This being 2024, I would assume that you probably everything has been scanned, so they have everything that they have has been listed on disk or on a server, so you can access all of the stuff. You cannot access the content because not everything has been scanned, but you can at least get all of the details. Then you basically know what you want. You get this. You get the shelf marking, and then you go to the person, the librarian, and say, "I want to take out this book," and they're going to order it because most of it will actually be in the stacks.
Yeah.
I will also say that there is one reading room. Which
Because there will be quite a few books that you're not allowed to. I think most of them you're not allowed to take outside the building.
Yeah, there will be especially, and I think that there's also going to be kind of like a restricted section where they have all of the stuff that you are allowed to read, but only on site. But even the reading room will have large shelves, and we're talking about the ones that have kind of like the reading room is about, it's a vaulted ceiling, and you have large and high what you call them, shelves that are 10-15 meters tall, and there's also kind of like a walkway and ladders and stuff. And as is the case for so many Parisian buildings, it used to be a church-related building. So let's say it was an old abbey. So you still see the old painted stained glass windows with pictures of the saints, and you smell the smell of books. So how does that, because I mean you're an artist, what do you do with books? Is that also something you're really interested in? Do old books mean something to you? Do you like them?
I think she generally likes them, although she's probably more impressed by the building and the architecture than the books themselves. From selling point of view and also knowledge point of view, books are important, and she knows you can sell them well and you can get a lot of money for them. But I think the architecture, just the artist heart, is more like, and they kept it so well, and you can see all of this. Since she's not here for a special book, I think she would just stand there and just have a look around and let just have everything sink in a little.
Your phone buzzes.
I will pull it out.
You have a text message, and it's from Celeste, and she says, I'm standing on the stairs. Are you inside, or are you still on the way?
Based on what I've seen, do you have an idea which stairs she's talking about? Probably not.
Well,
There will
probably
be a
the
lot
ones
of
that you
stairs in
came,
the building.
probably the ones that are outside that basically lead into the building. She's probably
Okay.
standing outside, because inside you didn't see any stairs.
Then she would not answer. She would just go back to the door, and she would peek outside and have a look around if she can see Celeste.
You see Celeste, she has a messenger bag. She is. Do you take a look at her? Do you actually look at her face?
I don't think so. I would just scan if she's there, and as soon as I see her, I would whistle to see if she realizes that I'm already inside.
Okay, on a 7, she does look around, but she doesn't realize it's you who whistled. She probably heard the noise and is kind of like, what is going on here? But she doesn't really think it's you or that she is meant.
It's whistling again.
Okay.
Maybe with a little wave.
Double 6s plus 2. So yeah, she looks around, she sees you, and she raises her eyebrows. She says, "Did you just whistle?"
Yes. Yelling is not really appropriate, so I thought whistling would be nicer.
Make a communication check.
Let's see. Communication. Oh wow. Double 6 and a 5.
Oh wow, is it 17?
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extreme communication.
Okay, and your stunter is at a 6 or a 5?
A 5.
Okay. Okay. You think, and you know, you feel it, you can tell that she would like to say something, but she can't. She's either too polite or too shy or too...
Amelie would just cock her head and would just look at, come on, what? I can see words on the tip of your tongue that you're not.
I honestly don't want to draw any attention to me. I always find it really difficult when people look at me.
But why? In certain situations, I get it. Like in the auction house, certainly getting attention was the last thing we wanted to have.
You see,
But-
when people look at me, then they suddenly start talking to me. It's a possibility. It happens to me sometimes. And then I
Working
just...
in a shop, you should be used to people talking to you.
Yet that's not me who's working in the shop. That is my shop persona.
Interesting approach.
Well, I mean, of course it's me. I mean, it's not like there's a second one of me, but it's like they're not talking to me. They're talking to the otaku girl.
Which is part of you.
You sound like Ash. She always says you need to go out more. You have so much to give, blah, blah, blah. Why do you hide behind a persona? It's not...
I cannot do all of that. As far as I know, you're really nice to hang out with.
She starts laughing. She said, the one time we hung out, I got you arrested. So...
No, you did not. Whatever happened there got us into the debacle. It was not you. Except you opened the portal. But then we have a different topic we need to discuss.
No, I didn't.
See?
She looks absolutely shocked. I didn't.
And honestly, I picked you and pulled you by the side. You know that, right? It was not that you got to me. I started the thing. So...
But I really need you to believe that I have nothing to do with the portal. I can't open them.
I know you did not.
Good.
But you should really listen to your friends.
Friend, singular. I only have the one.
You don't have to hide. You are really nice to hang out. You look pretty. You can talk. Well,
she starts to
you are
get
a smart brain.
Yeah. How about we go inside?
Amelie is like giving her a smile, knowing that Celeste is not feeling very well with compliments, as it seems.
No, not at all. She's also somebody who you can tell she's trying to dress so unobtrusively that nobody notices her. She's also kind of like, tends to hide behind her messenger bag, which is strangely big. I mean, nobody would actually carry this around like this. And then...
So definitely the opposite from Amelie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not that Amelie is the princess, but she likes to dress at least pretty and more natural but pretty, and I think she does know much more her self-worth. She doesn't have that many close friends, but I think for uni and so on, as we said, she's easygoing, she's talking to people when she's there. It's not that she's a hermit hiding from anyone. I think she would have a hard life with the shop and everything that is going on to be like that. Yeah. So Amelie would just hook herself in Celeste's arm, then show me the weirdness and art thingies, and let's see if I can help. I highly doubt it, but it's worth a try.
She says, all right, you will have to... Do you have ID on you? Because you will have to get a visitor's pass.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So she goes to one of the librarians, and she pulls out a card which does say Bibliothèque Nationale, and she says, whoops. Bonjour, Lucien. And Lucien says, bonjour, Celeste. Are you here for the stacks? And she says, yes, and I brought a friend. She also needs access. And he looks at you and he says, do you have an ID, mademoiselle?
Yes, and Amelie will probably search her bag for her ID card, and then she will just put it on the table and slide it over.
He takes a look, types something into his computer, and he says, yes, you are being expected. And he says, one moment, please. And then he hands you back the ID, walks away, comes back with a piece of paper which he puts into a laminator. And you get a laminated visitor's card with your name on it, Bibliothèque Nationale. It only has your name. It has no more information, no date of birth, no picture, nothing. And he says, hold on to this.
Okay.
and then he pushes a button and you hear kind of like a buzzing, and then there's kind of like one of those, it's more like those gates that you see where usually the luggage is pushed through and conveyor belts at the airport. So it's like these two small and they open.
Yeah.
And he says, through there, mademoiselle. And Celeste says, and then we take the lift. Are you ready?
Let's go. And Amelie will just, the same, she did it with her ID as well. She just threw the ID in her handbag like this. So probably also searching through it, you would have seen that her handbag is a hot mess.
Okay.
And honestly, the visitor card, as soon as she passes through this part, she would just dump it in her handbag as well. It's there somewhere.
Yeah, Celeste is somebody who likes an orderly life. So she basically, when she has like a wallet and she opens it, and it's like one of the ones where each card has like a little compartment. So she sticks in the visitor's card, she closes the wallet, she puts the wallet into the messenger bag, inside a zipped compartment, and you get a sneak peek into her bag as well. And it has one pen, one book to write in, one bottle of water, and one pencil.
Okay.
And she has one of those bags where you can basically, where each pen and pencil has its own like compartment, so they're all neatly in there. And you believe that you can also see an eraser and a sharpener.
Okay. So Amelie has much more stuff on her, probably in a smaller bag, crammed in there.
There is no reason for her to have such a big bag. This is completely oversized for what is inside. And she said, all right, so we're now going to... She looks left and right, you're completely on your own. She says, that's where we need to go. And it says elevator. So you go there, she calls it.
You said we go downstairs, you said.
Yes. It's the -5th.
Do we need a card for that, or can we just go downstairs?
He buzzed us through.
Okay, then.
So you hear this
Calling
ding sound.
the elevator.
Yeah. The elevator opens, you step inside, and it is very fancy. So it's got lightly bluish light. It's all made of mirrors, and you look at the panel and you see that you can't go up, but you can go down up to -10. She says, all right, so we'll go to -5. That's where they have all of the assets that we're going to be looking at. Ding! And it's fast, really fast. So it opens and you hear a mechanical voice saying, 5th level, basement. And you step outside. What were you expecting to see?
Not even sure if Emily really thought about what she would see. Probably just a hallway with doors. Quite modern, she would suspect. Not old looking, but modern looking. Because she would think that everything below the building would have been added later on and would be modern and not the old stuff you can see upstairs.
You've described it almost perfectly, with the exception there are no doors. But it is a very modern corridor. There is recessed lighting. And it's nice on the eyes. It's not this cold white light, but it's more like soft with a tint of red or whatever. And she says, so we will be meeting with Eric and Micheline. They are, I suppose you would call them handlers. They've given me this assignment, and you by extension. I understand that they have found 6 more artifacts from the auction house that they would like you to look at. I don't know the first thing about art, so unless it is Egyptian, but I can learn from you.
I am free to share because everyone should learn about art. It's very important. We can learn from the past.
So you follow the corridor. It's maybe, I don't know, 15 meters, 10, 15 meters long, and then there's kind of like it bends, and then you enter into a really large room where
Before
you see.
we enter, Amelie would at least try to discreetly pull out her mobile phone and just have a peek if she has reception down here. She suspects
You
not.
do?
Oh, then she will
5G.
put it away. And will follow Celeste and step into the room.
The room is quite large. It's not as tall or vaulted as the upstairs. So it's maybe 350. Although 350 is actually quite tall. So, but it's like a normal room. And there are a couple of people who are sitting at desks. Some of them are reading. There's one person who's looking through a microscope, looking at something, and taking notes as she is looking. And then a man of about 40 approaches you, and he says, "Oh, Celeste, it's you." And she says, "Eric, may I present Amélie Dubois?" And he says, "Mademoiselle, it's
Amelie
a pleasure
will
to meet
just
you."
hold out the hand for a handshake.
He shakes your hand. He is wearing a suit, tie, and it fits him. So it's neither too big nor too small, but you also wouldn't say that it's made to measure. It's just off the rails, but it's fine. And he says, "Very well. Would you like to take a look now, or would you like to do something else first?"
Is there something else I should do? She will look between Celeste and him.
I don't know. Have you come to take out any books? Or are you just here for the assignment?
I'm just here for the assignment. The books will not help
Splendid.
me with anything else.
Splendid. Well then, if you will follow me, there will be tea, coffee, and of course water and something to eat in the room. There will be writing materials, and is there anything else that you need in order to analyze the paintings?
Well, I need internet access, but as long as my phone has, I'm fine with
Oh, you should have 5G down here.
Yeah.
We're very
it
well
looks
connected.
Like it. Surprisingly.
Will you be needing a spectrometer? Because I can get you this. I wasn't sure because it's a big apparatus. It's not one of the small ones, so I wasn't sure if I should bring it down.
Let me first of all see what we are talking about.
All right. And he basically says, "Follow me." And he has a very youthful spring in his step. He, he's full of energy. He isn't very tall, maybe 170. A little bit on the thin side, maybe. But he's and he seems to like it. Whatever it is that he does here, he seems to be enjoying himself. And he lets you into a room, which is, and you can see 5 paintings. And they're all on easels. And there are 5 chairs, one in front of each of these. And he says, just so that you can sit and look at the paintings in peace and quiet.
So you suspect one of these is the special one?
Well, I mean, we need to find out why they would open the portal there and then. And it's none of the things that have been auctioned off. It has to be one of the ones that is still there, and it's only these 5 paintings that still remain.
I think Amelie will first of all scan all paintings, just looking through and seeing if she remembers them from the catalog, just to be sure that they are really from the auction, and if anything rings a bell. Probably not. It's not a Mona Lisa or something famous like that.
Because you would have noticed when you were first looking at the catalog. So to answer your first question, They are all from the catalog. You do recognize them.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have lot numbers attached to them.
Okay.
And he points to one of the tables and says, just in case you want to refer to the catalog from the auction, we've got a copy over there.
Thank you. That's helpful. And she would just start with the first one based on the number, and she will look at the artist and the name of the painting, and then she will step closely to the painting and will start to analyze it the way she learned to have a closer look on which style it was painted, line work, colors, also seeing if she can see based on how the painting looks what kind of colors were used.
Okay, then make a art history check. So we're gonna make this, I would say, that is intelligence.
Is it evaluation then?
Yeah, I would say so. So it's intelligence plus 3 plus 1.
Plus one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Because I don't think it's perception searching, because you're not looking for something.
No, I'm evaluating more. What kind of painting, which time. Also probably in her mind on how much it's really worth. And double fours. Nice. So I have a 10, 14, 18 and a 4 on the stunt die.
Okay. So this is you're pretty sure you also know from the catalog what this was supposed to be, but you've never seen it in the flesh. Now you are seeing it in the flesh. It is definitely Italian. Time frame Michelangelo, but late. Not by himself, but possibly by one of his students. And preservation status could be better. You think it should be restored. In fact, you could restore it if somebody asked you to. But definitely, you think that the description or what they assessed it for in the catalog is what you would have said as well. You don't notice anything unusual about it. In fact, you've seen many of these because Michelangelo was very famous. He was a very famous teacher as well. And his school was also famous. And lots of people commissioned the school. And would have then just paid him a fee that he would also then have reinvested in his own work, but also in the work of his pupils. That doesn't mean that it's kind of like mass production, but it's also not rare.
Yeah.
And it's also a Christian
if
motif.
if it's Michelangelo time. Emily would share with Celeste as much as Celeste is interested in.
Oh, Celeste is hanging on every word, and she's got
Amelie
her notebook out.
Okay, then Amelie, she will, if someone offers her the platform, she will get very nerdy about this and show every little tiny, like, see, and this is, and here you can see basically Michelangelo's handwriting kind of style that the students took over, and it was a good student as it seems. And here you can see this is not the normal, it's darker, it has like a yellow hue over it. You need to clean it needs some TLC, definitely.
And now you notice that you and Celeste have this in common: you're both nerds. She nerds out over other things than you, but this whole total focus and complete immersion is something that she takes to like a fish to water. So she's really paying attention. She's really making notes, and you can see this, and she's scribbling away.
So here some crackling because the paint has gotten too dry. Maybe a little bit of sun where it shouldn't be, or the temperature was not right. Maybe cold, warmish. And looking for a signature and all the things that belongs to that. And Amelie will write every little thing down. She will basically catalog what she's finding with all the results and conclusions she has, including the hint of it should be given to someone for restoration, because it definitely needs a little bit of help to be its former beautiful self.
Okay. So basically, I would say that this probably takes you about 45 minutes to an hour to describe it and to analyze it to that level of detail. Yeah. You proceed to the next painting. That is not Italian, it's Dutch. So it's like Rembrandt. In the style of Rembrandt. Definitely not a Rembrandt. You would say definitely worth a lot less than the first one. They were also selling it for a lot less, or trying to sell it for a lot less. However, this one is a lot better preserved because it's also newer, obviously. But you would also say that it's an original from the time. It's not a fake, but not a Rembrandt, but in the style. And it's a portrait of a woman, a lady. And you would say even like, she looks like she's maybe a Dutch merchant wife or daughter, in this very Puritan, like a Protestant style, clothed in this Protestant style, very clear lines, no frills, no nothing. And next to her is kind of like a bowl of fruit, and a dead pheasant. So it's kind of like a still life with person, as it were. Yeah, you would also say that what they were asking for is reasonable. And if the right person, maybe somebody who has something similar, would like a second one, this could be going for a lot more if somebody really wanted it. And again, whatever you're saying to Celeste will be happy to note down. And she's also kind of like, but you can also tell that she really doesn't know the first thing about painting, because for her this is really new. Sometimes you say a word, she asks you to repeat it, especially when you talk jargon. And then you get,
Celeste will also then take the time to explain. So Amelie will take the time to explain to Celeste. So every time Celeste has a question, she will get an explanation, and that she might understand it better. But so with the second painting, also nothing really unusual sticks out.
No. Okay. You get to the third painting. And this painting looks like this. And this painting actually has a title, and it's called L'homme dans la bibliothèque perdue. And you notice several things about this. The style is a lot different from the older paintings, Michelangelo and Rembrandt, that you have just looked at. You notice the style. This is style that exists, but it's from a completely different time. It's a lot more modern. With regard to the way the painting has been composed. Also, when you look at the perspective on this chair, it's kind of weird, even I can tell. And and the windows, it's not quite clear, are they opening into the building or out of the building, which Rembrandt or Michelangelo would never have left you in any doubt with. So this is... make a roll, please, an evaluation roll for me, please.
Oh boy. I see nothing. I have a headache. I'm falling down. That is 5, 8, 9? That's it?
Yeah. So you basically then... you've got nothing. This building, this painting is, well, in the modern Dutch style, naive painting, that kind of thing. You're not sure why the title is French because you would have put this into the Dutch hemisphere, but it could have been that somebody just translated the title. You don't see any signature. And you also, in a way, cannot really talk very much about it. It's kind of, nondescript, sort of weird.
I think she will stand in front of the painting, hands on her hips, just like with a puzzled look, because this doesn't really fit into the other paintings that she's seen.
Not at all.
I have no idea who would want that.
You would also say that it kind of lacks merit, artistic merit.
Yeah, it's nothing that you would hang in a museum or so. It's a bit odd.
Do you want to do anything with it, or do you want to move on?
I think she will note it for take another look at it another time, because it's just I think she's at the point where she's like, okay, let's see what the other two are bringing, and to see if it sticks out even more, or if there are more weird like that.
The other two are again in a completely different style, but they're both French, and they're both by Cézanne.
Okay.
And they say provenance original, and you think also that these are original Cézannes. So these are very expensive. Because
She
the
would
person
definitely let out a whistle through her teeth.
Monsieur Dulac, whose estate this comes from, he was very rich. And you know that he was a collector, and it seems like this was possibly the heart of his painting collection, because these two, you're looking at easily between the two of them, they're 1 million euros.
So generally,
excellent
my feeling,
condition.
when I look at it, the painting 1, 2, 4, and 5 kind of fit in a collection from one collector. The painting 3 sticks out just blandly because it doesn't really fit at all with the rest. She would share the details for painting 4 and 5, although and she would go deep anyhow. She would tell Celeste again all the details, but then she will go back to number 3. She will pull out her phone and she will make a search for artist, basically trying to find if there are any other paintings with this weird perspective that she can find online. Then I think she would, I don't know, did Eric leave the room, or is he still?
He did. He left you with food and drinks, but he says that if you want to talk to him, you can just ring a bell. That's
then
kind of like a...
she would ring the bell.
A couple of minutes pass. While you're waiting,
I will have a cup of coffee.
Celeste is also pouring herself a drink. She's also eating one of the jambon sandwiches, and there are celery sticks and carrot sticks. And then the door opens, and Eric joins, and he says, "You rang?"
Yes, you said you would have a spectrometer or something like that.
Yeah, I do.
That painting, and she will point to the third one. I can't really make sense out of it. I would be curious if science can give us a little bit more information about it.
Of course. Wait here. It's gonna take me about half an hour to get it and set it up. But
worries?
Would you like to step outside, maybe catch some fresh air, or are you fine in here?
She will look at Celeste.
Celeste is basically munching on her sandwich, and she's like, she shrugs.
We are fine here, thank you.
And then he does come back after about 10 minutes with a spectrometer, which is It looks a little bit like those old overhead projectors. Mm-hmm. And it's on a little cart with wheels, and you have seen them, these old ones in terms of previous generation, because that's what the university would have. But you also know that there are new ones that you can actually carry around. They're a lot smaller and handheld, but this one isn't. And he puts it up in front of the picture, plugs it in, and then he says, well, we're good to go if you'd like to do the honors. And he points to the on-off switch.
She will take it and she will scan the painting really in a methodical way and see what comes out of it.
Yeah. First of all, you notice something odd. Because you notice that the paint, the actual paint, is composed in a way that indicates that this paint is much older than this type of painting of this style would be. So either somebody managed to find very old paint, or time travel. This is really the because the composition of the paint is exactly like you would expect it from the Michelangelo. So very old. Okay. But the style doesn't fit at all.
She would then walk over with the spectrometer, or she would also check, probably just like painting 1 and maybe 2, just to
verify.
And verify if it's really a similar signature on the paint, just to be like, am I crazy here?
Well, you use the other 2 paintings as calibration, as it were, and they show exactly in the spectrometer readings as you would expect the paints to show. You would say that the painting, if you didn't know what it looked like and just saw the spectrometer, painting 3 would be Michelangelo period.
She will share what she found definitely with Celeste. And
but that's weird, right?
Yes. And then she would, which she highly suspect they would have, like a magnifying, not like a small glass, but really like a bigger one where you can really look closer, either at books or art, depending on what you want to put under that.
Yeah. They give you a thread counter. And
then she would use that to have really a detailed look at the painting, if she can see anything in the painting that sticks out, like symbols, writing, an alien, I don't know, a mobile phone, anything weird, modern that should not be known during that time.
You see something. You see tiny writing. I'm gonna share this one more time because
I've seen the writing, that's why I had the idea.
Yeah, so basically the books have writing on them, and he's even pointing to one of them, and you see in different parts of the painting, at the very back, where it's kind of like countryside that you see through the window, you see 4 digits: 1, 7, 6, 4. On the lapel of the man himself, you see 4 digits: 1, 7, 9, 3. on the building in the background, which looks a little bit like a church or something, you see 1, 5, 7, 2. On one of the books, you see 1, 3, 9, 3. And then on the hat, it says 1666. And then there is this table which is held up by an atlas figure.
Yeah.
And on this you see 2024.
Amelie will write it down in her notes, but also show Celeste. Also, just that a second pair of eye can confirm the numbers she's seeing.
She looks and she does confirm them. Yeah, easily. on a 13 for perception, she does. Sorry, that's actually yours. On a actually 14. She confirms she has a special ability when she looks at stuff. Seeing is very high for her. She confirms your numbers. She says, "What are they?"
Well, it clearly looks like years.
Why would you hide years in a painting?
Well, one is our year that we currently have. The question is, did in one of the other years something weird happen, something noticeable happen? And she will pull out her phone and she will start looking for if anything interesting happened in 93. She will start with the next, basically, based on the numbers.
Okay, then please make a intelligence roll.
That is a 9, 12 plus 3, 15.
Okay.
No stunt die.
You have the knowledge skill, don't you?
Yep.
What does that do again?
On a successful intelligence test with a focus, I'll get an extra piece of information.
Intelligence focuses. We are looking at it's not art.
No, it would be history.
It's history.
Yeah, it's history.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, what was the first year you were looking at? Was it
1793, the one on the lapel of the man.
Well, this is a very famous year in French history, and it is the year when Louis Capet, the former king of France, was executed. I didn't realize that he had a last name, but he did.
Okay. Then she would look for the next date, which would be in the background.
And you also
sky.
get the date.
Okay.
The actual day.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 1st of April.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Then she would look at 1764, the one that is in the background.
The one that is basically in the forest area.
Yeah.
1764 is a weird date in France because it's as of the 1st of April 1764. What is termed the Beast of Gévaudan began its 3-year reign of terror, killing hundreds of men and women in the Département de l'Oser. It's not clear what this was. People were saying it might be a werewolf. People were saying it could be all kinds of things. Some say it was a lion. And I'm beginning to think if this is the story behind the Pact of Wolves. I'll have to check. Maybe. And it went on for 3 years, and the king sent troops and everything, but they couldn't find it. And after 3 years, it just stopped.
It just stopped. Okay. Then she will look at 1666.
Okay, and 1666, on the 1st of April, Antoine Dreux d'Aubray is poisoned by his daughter, the Marquise de Brinvilliers. I'm going to post all of this in the chat. And the Marquise was never... everybody believes that she did it. It is even assumed that she tried out the poison on people in hospitals, because apparently at that time members of the aristocracy were quite often seen to frequent hospitals to basically do charitable work there, especially the female members of the aristocracy. And it seems like she just basically cooked up her own poison, tried it out, and when she realized it worked, she tried it out on her dad, whom she wanted to inherit. She was never brought to justice. Nobody ever cared. It led to a lot of disquiet because people felt that the aristocracy was hiding one of their own instead of actually taking action and bringing her to justice. 1572.
Exactly.
The St. Bartholomew's Massacre, 1st of April.
Okay.
And lastly, 1393 was the Ball of the Burning Men. King Charles had a big revelry, and there was dancing, and he was wearing, and they were all wearing costumes, and his costume was flammable, as were the costumes of many of his fellow dancers, and he set himself alight at a ball. And it was Isabeau who managed to put him out with her skirt, but several people died, and there was a big fire on the 1st of April.
1st of April. Then I would look at my phone and would have a look on, is there anything big planned or coming up on 1st of April this year? Because we are still...
It's Easter Friday.
Okay.
Good Friday.
But nothing like, I don't know, an election or something.
Not in France.
Okay.
And of course it's April Fool's.
Which all of what we found out so far doesn't sound very foolish. Amelie will just sit down, will pour herself another coffee, will take a little bit of a sandwich, just bite and chew and think. So something big will happen 1st of April is my suspicion. Maybe they wanted the painting to delete the warning that something will happen.
How do you mean delete the warning?
Well, whoever looked at this like we did would now have the idea that 1st of April, something will happen. That will not be good. If you don't have the painting, you have no idea. about 1st of April being a bad day in history.
Make another evaluation check for me, please.
Okay. Oh, that is definitely nicer. That is a 12, 16.
You also notice something else. You notice writing.
Okay.
And you notice several letters. You notice an H, and they're all basically jumbled.
Yeah.
An O, a T, an E, an L, a D, another E, another E, two G's, a B,
Yep.
a U, an O, an N, an R, and another O.
Celeste, I hope you like riddles. I think we have something to put together. And Amelie will take a piece of paper. She will write each letter like spaced out, and she will rip it like in little cards that you can play around, because that's much easier. I'm tempted to do that, but it will take too long. And she will start like jumbling around and see if she can find any words that make sense. Which, if I start to do it, we will not talk for the next hour, because I will dive in and playing around with numbers and words.
Okay, so there's one word that you immediately find, and it's hotel.
Hotel, yeah. And at the moment, at least she is suspecting something like rouge maybe in there as well, because at least there are a lot of letters that point in that direction.
Then make an intelligence roll, please.
Okay.
And she's got an 18, 6.
Wow. Okay, I have a good roll, not that good. I have 12 plus 3 is a 15.
Okay, so how this works is, since she's helping you, she rolls as well. You have a 15, and you get her stunt die, which happens to be a 6.
A 6.
Easy. You find it's Hôtel de Bourgogne.
Okay.
And you Google this. And it is a building that used to be the Hôtel d'Artois. We're talking a long, long time ago. Which no longer exists, but the Hôtel de Bourgogne still does. It's in Paris. You see a picture because I saw a picture, so it exists. You find it on Wikipedia. It looks like this. This is the remains. So basically, there's just the tower left. There's also a theater nearby, and you can find where it is. It's here. If you can see this, let me just make this a little bit bigger, or not.
I can look it like that.
Ancien Hôtel des Ducs de Bourgogne. So it's north of Les Halles.
Okay.
And yeah, it exists today. And do you want to research it?
Yes. So we would have exactly the look on where it is, just finding out, and would see what we can find online first of all about the building, or basically the hotel.
Okay. Then do some research. She can help you
And
with
second,
this.
we could see if they have any books on French history, because maybe online we have an idea which time frame it changed to Hotel de Bourgogne.
I think she's just lost connection to the internet and to the world. She rolled so badly, although research is her strong suit. She finds nothing.
Well, I'm just looking. Research would be searching.
No, in your case, it would.
No.
For her, it's intelligence research. She has this specialty. You would be rolling intelligence occultism.
Okay. Then
Because when she does the normal research, she just comes up with names and dates. There is nothing there.
I have 15 then plus 4, which is a 19, and I have a 3 on a stunt die.
You come across somehow, you followed the internet and then took a wrong turn. Or that's what it looks like to you, because you end up on a page which is called The Secrets of Paris. Like, it's kind of like white writing on black, some weird sigils. It looks like somebody cooked this up in their basement. And this is mentioned as a place that gets lost every so often. Because some say that there used to be a library, but the library got lost. La bibliothèque est perdue. And the person goes on to say that it's not that the books got lost, like the actual library got lost, but that the actual room in which the library was is lost. And some say that every so often it returns. And suddenly where there was no door is a door. And suddenly where there was no room is a room. And then they are like, aliens, question mark.
Amelie will share that entry with Celeste and be like, this weirdly fits extremely well with the name of the painting.
The Man in the Lost Library.
Yes.
She reads it and she's like, you think that there's a room that appears every so often out of nowhere?
Maybe. And I highly suspect next time will be April 1st this year.
And they wanted the painting because they wanted to know about it and when it would appear next?
Probably. Because it has been a while since it's appeared. Because
And
last
it
time
never-
it was
it never did anyone any good.
1764.
When it appeared, it never did anyone any good. People died.
Well, might be coincidence. I think on other dates you will find a lot of murder and death as well. Over the centuries.
Yeah, but those were all things that were noted down.
Yeah.
Like,
Still
I mean,
might be coincidence or not.
okay.
It's not. The question is, all of the things, it was not only in Paris, it was
It was in
in
France.
France.
Yeah.
But not all of it happened in the city or near the library. Because at least I suspect the library shows up in that building all the time and not somewhere around France.
According to the article you've been reading,
Yeah.
it's like this room appears in this building.
Appears in this building.
Yeah.
So maybe it makes sense to send someone to the building and have a snoop around. I'm not sure if it's Amelie would have a look if the building is open for visit, if it belongs to someone, if is there anything we can find, like on Google, opening times, entry fees, belongings, or what do we see? Or do we see anything? If we don't see
It does
anything?
belong to the Office of Public Works, so it is a public building.
Okay.
It isn't normally open to the public though. It's been restored, so it's not like it's unsafe to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
But from what you can gather, it's kind of empty. It's not a museum or anything, and nobody lives there.
She will lean back, look over at Celeste. Do you think the organization has links to our dear state and maybe can get us access to that building?
She smiles. They are behind the state. Yes, they can get us access.
Then maybe we should go there with someone who can know how to handle a weapon, just in case a weird thing shows up, a portal is there, whatever.
Of course.
I'm also not sure, should we go there, or do they want to send like a military team? I'm not sure.
Let's ask Eric. She rings the bell. Eric, I
Amelie
think,
pours
Amelie has
another
found
coffee.
something.
And Amelie will take time to detailed explain what she found, or what she and Celeste found on all the dates, all the information, and last but not least, the article that she found.
Eric listens. And he says, do you want to go there now?
If we can,
Of course.
might be good to have someone there that can handle a weapon in case someone is there that should not be there already waiting.
We'll get you a security detail. He looks at his watch and he says, give them 10 minutes.
Well, then time for bathroom break.
Oh, you can take an hour if you like. But they will
No.
take at least 10 minutes to get ready, and we will have to get a car.
Have them ready and we will get ready as well. She will look at Celeste, so Amelie will X her coffee and she will take a bathroom break just to be, before you travel, you go to the bathroom, and she will have a last bite of a sandwich and she will just fold the paper that she scribbled on, just like fold it in half and plonk it in her handbag. Which probably Celeste is like, ooh, what is she doing? Because I highly suspect Celeste is more proper with everything.
Closing her book. She's smoothing it over. She takes it's one of those Druckbleistifte. And she basically then
mechanical pens.
Mechanical
pencils, yeah.
She pushes down and then basically to get the lead inside again, tucks it in, closes everything. She's like, meticulous. She takes the sandwich, the napkin, the paper napkin she was using for the sandwich. She folds it up and then she doesn't turn it into a ball and throws it in, but she folds it neatly and throws it into the waste paper basket. She takes a sweet time. Some people might find that annoying. She goes to the bathroom. She comes back.
Amelie is sitting there, feet on the table, leaning back and just waiting.
She looks at you. What is your communication skill?
2.
Oh, yeah. I rolled a 6 on your stunt die. 12, 13, 15. You can tell that she is again on the verge of saying something as she looks at you sitting there being completely chill. But instead she just basically melts into the wall and waits quietly for the things
There's
that
no
are coming.
melting into the wall with Amelie. Amelie will just like... You can say what you think, you know that, right?
It's fine. I'm just not used to people like you. I mean, putting your feet on the table that doesn't belong to you.
Well, it's waiting time.
I know. I admire your brashness and forwardness.
Oh, my boots are clean.
I didn't say that they weren't. You take charge of the room.
It's not that hard. Come on, sit down, try it.
She looks around and she says, I can't really.
Come on, try. If anyone is saying anything, it's my fault. Come on. And Emily will push a chair next to her.
She comes to
and
you,
just
she sits down
pat the
next to you,
seat.
and she puts up one leg. It takes her ages, then she puts up the second leg, and then she's sitting there going.
Now lean back.
She
Try
leans
to
back.
relax.
She
Breathe
leans
in
back.
And out, and it does not look relaxed, I suspect.
No, it doesn't look. She's sitting like this, like she has no neck anymore because she's pulling up the shoulders. She feels like not only has she been found with her hand in the cookie jar, the whole cookie jar was inside her bag already.
Okay, that is not relax. Let your shoulders hang down. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and think that you're sitting on your bed. And just have your feet propped up.
She thinks about it and she says, "Huh. It's actually quite comfortable."
Yes. And I would not do that everywhere. And also depends. If my boots would be really dirty, I would not put them on the table. But since we have to wait, why not? I would clearly never do that in a restaurant or so, right? Because there it's definitely not the right thing to do. Not that I'm giving you ideas.
She looks at you and she says, "Oh, of course not in a restaurant." And
So Amelie and Celeste sit there, feet up, waiting.
the door opens and you hear. Do you have your eyes closed?
No, I will look. Amelie is relaxed even with eyes open, and she will look at the door just waiting.
The door opens and two people step inside. They are both wearing black, tight-fitting, but not constricting clothes. Strong boots, and they both have shoulder holsters with handguns. And they both have gloves with their fingertips cut off, made of not leather but some kind of combat-like material. Very short hair. A man and a woman, and they come towards you. They stop. They look at you.
I think with the moment they are stepping in, Amelie would slowly put her feet down and would stand up slowly. Not like hectic being caught, just like, okay, they're there, so it's time to go, and would
They
just
salute.
grab her bag.
In a military fashion.
Amelie would freeze probably like a bit unsure what to do with that, she would then just wave and say salut.
Sergent Montet, Sergent Devilliers reporting for duty.
I hope you have a vehicle we can use.
Of course, transportation has been provided, mademoiselle.
Thank you. She will peek over to Celeste and let's go, I guess.
The two of them turn around as one. She takes the lead, he falls in step behind her, and the two of them march towards the door. He takes a step to the side and opens the door for her. She steps outside, and he waits for the two of you to step outside as well.
Mm-hmm. We are following.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Outside, she's waiting. He steps outside. He closes the door. He locks the door. There's kind of like a pin pad because obviously there's art in there.
Yeah.
And then she says, "If you will follow us," and the two of them take the lead again. Take you to the
Sure.
Take you to the take you to the elevator. Even Celeste has to grin. Bing! The elevator shows up. They take you to -1.
Okay, the situation in the elevator will be really awkward silence, I suspect.
Do you want to do anything?
No, I think Amelie is just looking back and forth between the two and Celeste and the two and Celeste, and she will not say anything, but it's this awkward feeling where you can basically, like, at least Amelie has the feeling someone should say, but
The two of them stand next to each other, their feet shoulder width apart, and their hands clasped behind their back like so.
Yeah.
And basically facing the wall opposite them. They're not paying you any attention. Then, bing! And the voice says, -1, basement, parking.
When we step out, I think Amelie will whisper to Celeste, like, that was awkward.
She smiles.
Yeah, well, it always is. I'm told they are military.
You don't say. They are the cliche of any bad Hollywood action movie military.
They do look like, they do look like that.
They could have stepped right out of a movie or a book.
You're pretty sure that they've heard you, but
I don't think Amelie cares because they should not care if they're proper military.
They ignore you. They ignore you completely. There is kind of like a car. This isn't a cliche car. It is a normal Renault for 4 doors, or 5 doors actually, because it's got a back door.
Yep.
But the color is kind of muted blue. They open the door for you.
We climb into the car.
And
A kitten passes our way.
no, she's been cleaning herself and she's breathed in her own hair, so now she's coughing. It sounds terrible, but she's fine. And you get into the car, they close the door behind you. Monsieur or Sergent Montet gets behind the wheel. And they know where you're going because they drive you there. He knows 2 settings. Full brakes on, down the hammer. So, there's a red light, stepping on the brake. It's turning yellow, stepping on the accelerator.
I think Amelie cannot stop herself from saying probably a little too loudly to Celeste, I have to say I'm quite happy about the invention of a seatbelt. And she will hold on to probably, I don't know. Usually at the window you have the little grips, and Emily will
she's
definitely hold on
that
to them
as well. You arrive at the house. There is no parking. The two of them get out, survey the situation, and say, "Give us a moment." She takes out a phone, and you hear her part of the conversation. She's calling the police and asking them to remove the cars that are standing, and she gives them an address. The two of them get back in again and say, "And now we wait." 20 minutes later, the police show up. Another 15 minutes later, a tow car shows up, takes out 2 cars that are parked there, which are entitled to park there because this is a public parking space. They place their car there and open the doors for you and say, "We have the keys."
Good.
And you go to the door, and Duvier, the lady, unlocks the door, and it's like you can tell it's a modern door, but it's made of solid wood, so it's really it would be difficult to break in. And the downstairs windows, which you couldn't see in the picture, also have steel bars in front of the windows, so that you can't really get in. And if you wanted to vandalize the place, it would be a bit difficult. Can you make perception check, please? And you can use searching for that.
Okay, I can, but I think when we get out of the car after parking, Amelie can't stop herself from telling the 2 military people, "We could have just parked a little bit away and walk here, you know that? It's quite rude what you did." Not sure if they will react to that.
They don't.
I thought, and she will turn to Celeste, "I thought military were fit. It seems like they're not good at walking." And she will get out of it. Just give Celeste a grin and a wink.
Celeste grins back at you and winks back at you.
And then when we get inside, my perception is 12 plus then 4.
16.
No, stop by.
You also notice that there is an alarm system in place.
Okay.
So they open the door for you. You step inside, and it's more like there is really only this, which looks by all counts and purposes much like an old tower of this much bigger building that used to be here. And you see that there's a staircase going up, and the downstairs is maybe 4 meters tall. There are windows, not very wide, but if you wanted to, you could climb in, but it would be, not very comfortable.
Yeah.
But they're more like high windows, but not very wide. And it's empty. There's nothing there. It's like flagstone. What do you know about architecture? You do know about architecture, don't you?
Well, she knows what she's read. It's not linked to her studies that much, because she's definitely focusing on art, paintings and statues and so on. But I think generally she's interested, at least in architecture in Paris. Just because she loves to read about things. And I'm quite sure she was curious here and there and learned things. So not her main focus, but as we know, she's reading a lot of stuff.
But I would say that architecture, from kind of like not the how do I build, so
no, that
kind
she
of
has
thing.
no clue of.
But I mean, different building styles
and
would,
which, yeah.
to my mind, they would be featuring in art, because
Probably
Yeah.
it has a close connection, so she
Yeah.
would know if it's, I don't know, Gothic or Renaissance or Baroque or something like, or modern or so. So
Yeah.
general idea she has for sure. She has no idea about statics or anything
Yeah,
like that, for
yeah.
sure not.
Okay, so basically you can tell that probably the floor that you're standing on, the flagstones are original.
Okay.
And on the inside, you also see that it hasn't been plastered, so you still see the original stone on the inside. On the outside, it looks like you saw it in the picture,
Yeah.
like completely plastered, but on the inside, it hasn't been plastered at all. It's still the original stone work. Condition is okay, so you don't think that this would fall down anytime soon. But nothing has been done with this place. It's simply sitting there idly.
Okay.
And
Does it look really dusty or does it look clean? Because if you haven't done anything
yeah.
with it, it should be like dust and spider
Yeah.
webs and
nobody has been in here. Or if they have been, then not in recent times, because there is dust on the floor. You are leaving footprints. There are cobwebs. Yeah, it's a waste of space actually, and probably a waste of money to just not use it at all. Because you could imagine you could even have like maybe a brasserie down here if you manage to get a kitchen fitted. Who knows? And you see that the upstairs is basically wood, but there you can see it's not original. This is not several hundred years old, so they have done something to it. Do you want to go outside? Do you want to go upstairs?
I think so, yeah. Just
Okay.
just seeing if the stairs
Okay.
are still stable, but as
They
we
are.
heard, it should be.
They
so
are.
we
They are
will
made
go
from.
upstairs.
They are made from stone. They're stone stairs, and
Okay.
like in the old, like even in the Tower of London, you know how they didn't used to have
Yeah.
railings, but basically just the stairs. It's just like that. So you see
Yeah.
that they have put in railings so that people don't fall, but they are
Don't
modern.
fall.
Yeah. You go upstairs, and
So Emily would look out for, I don't know, anything like disturbed dust or footprints or something like that.
make
Or
a perception
any kind
check,
of
please.
signs or something that would stick out like that. Can I add my searching again
Please
to
do.
it? Okay, then it's a 9, 11 plus 4, 15. No stunt die.
Okay. Not that you can see, but you notice something else. You feel something. You feel like the air is slightly electrified. And you're getting goosebumps.
Looking at Celeste. Is it just me?
No. It's not just you.
So I highly suspect here is where the room will appear. Or something else, or someone else. Maybe surveying this place might be sensible to do.
Yeah.
At least hanging up a webcam. If the personnel is not there. Would be curious if in a few weeks it feels more static or not. Like you can feel the room appearing. And Emily will go downstairs again just to see if it feels different again.
Yeah, it does. You feel nothing when you're downstairs.
She will go back up.
Same thing.
That is so weird. Is that magic that we feel?
It's called kana, but probably yes.
At least there's a lot of it here, I suspect, if I can feel it.
Highly unusual. Prime is not chaotic. But I can feel it too. I can feel it too.
So I guess we return and tell Eric, and they can decide what to do with it.
I can already tell you what they're gonna decide.
Burn down the house.
No, they're going to ask us to check it out and stay and see if something happens on the 1st of April. You and I can feel it. They can't. And she looks at the two soldiers who are listening, but are not showing any signs of either feeling what you're feeling or of kind of like they are not interfering with your discussion. They're not asking what is it that you're feeling, nothing like that. They are looking around. They're being very careful, checking the room, everything. But more like they are expecting something to happen or someone to show up.
Attack shops, something
Yeah.
like that. I highly doubt, Celeste, that they have any kind of feelings. They were trained not to feel.
The man Monte looks at you and he says, I do feel when somebody shoots me.
Well, that's physical pain, but I think anything that tickles emotions or so, you should be trained to ignore that, I highly suspect.
And he looks at you, he looks at his partner, and then his partner says, are your emotions being tickled?
In this room, yes, not by you. Thank you.
And she looks at you and she says, what is it that you're feeling?
Goosebumps, she says with a smile.
Do you feel it is cold?
No, just weird.
She's got nothing. Weird is too...
I know.
It's like, what is this supposed to mean? It's weird. Okay, whatever. So she...
You know, gut feeling that gives you a warning? That's what I feel.
She pulls her weapon.
I don't think we're getting attacked today. You can put the weapon away.
Any particular direction?
Well, it's the whole room here. And I highly doubt anything will happen before April 1st. Which is quite a bit away.
They keep their cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, April 1st.
I know it sounds weird. It sounds weird, I know. It's not a joke. I can only tell you that much. It would be
So-
nice if it would be a joke.
What do you want to do on April 1st? What should we bring?
Well, first of all, I think someone should have eyes on this place from now on. Just in case whoever wanted the painting gets some kind of different idea on what is happening here.
And look for what?
This place, just as we did.
But
So-
there is nothing here. I mean, let
There
me
will be
rephrase.
something here
What?
on April 1st. I suspect a door to a room that was not there before.
The two of them look at each other, and then they spread out and they start tapping on the walls. Now, you know, without having to think about this, these
They
are
will
all
not.
outside walls.
Yeah.
This is not a wall to another part of the building. This is all outside walls. You are inside this, and you're now on the top floor, because
Yeah.
above you is just a very high ceiling, and very much at the top are again small windows.
Maybe she will look at Celeste. Just from height, could there be like another floor added? Would there be enough height for that? Because
There
I'm just
would-
curious if it would show up here or above us with a stair or something like that.
There would be way enough room. You can also see the roof.
Yeah.
So it could appear anywhere between where you are standing
And up.
and maybe 10 meters up. Possibly not right underneath the ceiling because or underneath the roof, because that would be a bit awkward, but somewhere
Yeah.
in between. Yeah.
Maybe it would be above us?
Maybe we should bring a ladder.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Though I'm still not sure if we should be the one. So I'm curious.
In for a penny, in for a pound. And she basically lightly bumps you in the arm.
She will turn to the two military people. I think you can stop that. The outside wall is the outside wall. I don't think that will change. But nice try.
They look at each other.
Could you
They put away their
organize
guns.
that a webcam or a security camera are set up here that we can see, or you can see who enters the building until April 1st? And maybe what happens in here, just in case? Because I don't want to live here until April 1st. That would be, I think, a little bit over the top.
We can send in a surveillance detail. What would you have them do? Where would you like the
Yes.
cameras to be placed? Where should the feed go?
Just someone have a look at it. Best case, no one enters the building. Nothing happens. Then
Downstairs,
we don't have
upstairs,
to worry about it.
everywhere.
Well, both floors. Entryway outside, inside, ground floor, and this first floor would be very lovely.
Contact details that we send the feed to.
You should have her contact details, and she will point to Celeste. I
We
think
do.
you're more tech savvy than I am.
Madame Durand, Mademoiselle Durand, will we be using your contact details? She looks at you and she's like, I guess.
As I said, the only interesting thing is if something happens. If nothing happens, we honestly don't care about it. Because no one should be entering this building because there's nothing in there.
We
So-
will have
so-
a security detail, we will have a surveillance detail be brought in and they will set it all up. She looks at her watch. It'll take
the
us about 4
computers
hours.
Can for sure make a filter that only if, like motion sensor is triggered, we get a feed. If not, as I said, we don't need material of days and days and days of nothing.
I will advise them to this effect.
Thank you.
Would you like to return to headquarters?
Amelie will look at Celeste. Should we just take a walk and they can do their work?
Of course we can take a walk. Of course.
Or
We
I
will
don't-
lock the building when we're done.
thank you.
They salute.
Amelie will give them a grin and a wave. Salut! And we'll leave.
And Celeste follows you.
What do you think about proper lunch?
Good idea, I'm starving.
Then we will walk out, and we will walk a little bit, and whatever restaurant we pass
Les
by
Halles
that
is-
looks
Les Halles is
interesting.
literally
there's
round the
quite
corner.
a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will have a look and a restaurant that piques both our interests, or bistro, or whatever. We will have a sit down, have a proper food.
You have proper food.
And this is normal bizarre. After eating quite a while, I think Amelie would like break the silence that probably is there.
But it's comfortable silence. It's she's concentrating on her food. You notice that Celeste likes eating. She enjoys her food.
Amelie does as well. I think that's why she just ate in silence at least a little bit, and then she's still unsure about all of this, so it's like, you really think we are the right ones to be in that room?
Well, the fact that you felt it and I felt it goes to show that yes. You see, I don't mean to bore you with all of this physics, but everything has an amplitude. You know, light? You know that because you know about paint and colors. And what I've learned is only very few people can see beyond the veil. Maybe in the Ition here in Paris, it's 8 plus the 2 of us. Very few people. But then there's another thing, and that is you know, it is all about how the strings vibrate.
Okay. But still, them relying on, not to be mean, but 2 young girls that just finished school more or less, who have almost to nothing in life experience, sounds like a very stupid idea.
Well, you're 23. You're not
Just
that young
nothing.
anymore.
We're practically just out of childhood. I'm still studying. I never
So?
left school, basically.
You see, and I never went to one, so hey.
You went to school.
I was enrolled.
Okay.
I can read and write, I can assure you.
Well, I know that. Your writing is quite nice. And very detailed. And very structured.
It's easy to structure things that you say because they are structured as you utter them. When you talk about art, you really know what you're talking about. It's very easy to follow you. You always start... Have you not noticed that you always start in the same way?
I'm just following what I learned at uni.
See? You start from the outside in.
I'm still not sure who should show up on April 1st. And probably needs to be there already on March 20th or 31st evening, because we don't know when on April 1st it shows up. It might be with the gong of midnight, you know, like in the very bad stories.
Well, then I know that I'll be camping out in there.
I'm not sure I want to camp out with those people, pointing roughly in the direction where we came from.
They don't talk very much, do they?
They're just very weird to be around. I'm not sure if something happens if they will not blankly shoot at it without looking.
I hope that they do look in the right direction so that they don't miss, but it's what you wanted, a security detail. It's what we got. But I mean, you don't have to have them. We can also say we don't want them.
No, I'd rather have someone who can shoot than have no one there that can shoot, because I have no idea how to handle a weapon.
Well, you can train. You have 1 month. You have over a month.
That's not enough to have a weapon in hand and shoot at something.
You just have to train hard.
Why should I? I don't want
I
to
don't
shoot
know.
things.
If this is what you want, you can get trained. The Itheon would offer you that.
That's not what I said.
I'm just saying, if you wanted, it would be a possibility. I'm not saying that you should.
Which is very scary that they are just training anybody on weapons. That should not be a case.
You are not anybody.
I am an artist. I should not never in this world have a weapon in a hand.
Then they won't give you one if you don't want one. They will not force you to do anything. If you decide to walk away today,
it's not
then
about forcing. For me, any kind of organization that enables weapons is not a good thing.
they don't enable weapons. But if you feel that you need one and you don't want a security detail,
I would like to have a nice security detail, which
Define
doesn't seem
nice.
to be human.
I'm pretty sure they were.
Emotions,
But you said that they were trained.
empathy, all the things they don't have.
I'm not sure if they're not empathetic. I think that they were very concentrated because they didn't want to lose you.
It wasn't a dangerous mission. We just went into a building
But
where
they
there was
didn't.
nothing.
But you didn't know, and I didn't know what we were going to see, and they knew even less.
But latest inside, they should have relaxed. They didn't.
I don't
And
know. I mean, maybe it's when you talk about art, you're not very relaxed there either. You are so absorbed in it. And they were paying attention because they had only one mission, that was to keep us safe. And I think they did. If something had dropped down on us, it would have had to get past them, and I think it would have been difficult.
I think I'm still not sure about all this military thing. But some part of my brain tells me have someone there who can shoot if needed.
I mean, the point is, we don't know what's going to happen. What are we going to do? Shoot a room?
I don't know. The thing is, I don't feel comfortable with them, and I don't feel comfortable without them. But that will have to do. So camping
Do
in
you
an
want me
empty
to find a different
building,
detail?
I highly doubt they will be different. They maybe look different. But it will have to do. If they are on duty on that day, maybe there will be someone. I think they're exchangeable, probably.
They're probably exchangeable, but it could also be that they have been detailed to us. So if we request a security detail, they will be summoned regardless of if they're on or off duty. It could be that we are their duty now, unless we say differently.
I hope they have normal working hours and free time and days.
They're the military. Special ops. I doubt it. I mean,
Also,
having
they
said this, I've seen them in action. I've seen them train. They are really good.
then we will see how they react to whatever happens.
You don't put much faith in them, do you?
I only put faith in people I know. At least a little bit on a personal level. And after all the experience with military so far,
You've got experience with the military? She looks intrigued.
you were there as well?
Yeah, but that was sodality. That wasn't military.
That's all the same.
No, it's not. Please. It isn't.
It's all military. It could have been any kind of. If they have a thing they have to do, they. You know? I'm just not. But
Let's just
whatever.
hope that these guys are a lot more successful, because I don't want to lose my head.
We will see, I guess. So we need to make plans who brings what for the 31st. We need some blankets, we need a picnic basket, we need some food and drinks.
Yes, I can provide food and drinks and a picnic basket, and I can bring blankets.
Oh, we should... Everyone should bring something. You don't have to do all the work alone.
Then we share. You bring the wine.
And each of us brings a blanket.
I can bring one blanket and a pillow.
I will also bring coffee.
Coffee's important.
Yeah, because we shouldn't fall asleep. That would be fun. Falling asleep and waking up to ta-da, whatever's there.
I'm not sure if I want this.
What?
Fall asleep and then wake up to,
Well, let's hope it shows up after midnight, shortly after that, because if not, we have to stay awake for at least 24 hours.
Well, we can
So-
take turns. Set
But I
up
don't
watches
wanna
and
miss
stuff.
out. No, I will stay awake. Coffee, sugar.
Okay, I'm going to bring my laptop, because with a satellite uplink and a direct feed, we will always... I think we should be recording non-stop whatever's happening there on that day. Even if nothing happens. I don't think
Yeah.
we should rely on motion sensors. We should just basically record whatever's happening.
On that day or the day before starting, I'm with you, but at the moment I think it's too much because I highly doubt anything will happen in the next days.
No, I'm not saying that not anything will happen now, but would you like to come to my place and check out the satellite uplink once they've done it and see what it looks like?
We can have a look. Sure. I know where
Okay.
you live. With
Yes,
a
you do
grin.
know, but yeah. And then she says, "I don't know where you live.
The cats would not appreciate foreigner visiting.
That's fine. I wasn't gonna visit you. I know that you don't want anyone to know that I exist. That's fine.
No, it's not that. It's
It's exactly that. You said that you had friends and you didn't want them to know. So I'm not gonna tell them. Like I said, the last time we met, when I see you in the street, I will just pretend I don't know you.
no.
you're with
The
somebody
idea
else.
is that you say hi and that we just know each other from uni. Because the problem is, I'm living with people that will have very nosy questions, and I know I'm not good at lying to them.
Of course.
It's not about you that I am like not showing.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
She does this thing again where she smiles when she's basically it's the otaku store persona.
Okay, so we need to get a story together, and you will need to come over for dinner. I see. I
No.
think Nicola would like you.
Who's Nicola?
Well, basically, my housemate. He's the nephew of the owner of the building.
Okay.
And Isabel will like you quite well. She'll probably poke you that you're too shy and you need to come out of your shell, but that will not hurt.
I can be very entertaining, the guys at the otaku store tell me.
I am quite sure you are, but it would be nice to have not your store self, but you there.
That
We'll
part
figure
isn't-
it out.
That
I'll
part
just-
isn't entertaining. Ash will tell you.
It is entertaining. As I said,
Okay.
you're a smart one and it's easy to talk to you. And my landlady is into any kind of books, occult things, art, literature. We will find a lot of topics to talk about. I think the only one being bored is probably Nicola. She will say,
Does he like manga?
I know he likes comics. I have no idea if he ever touched a manga book. And careful question, you're not allergic to cats, are you?
No.
Good, because then it would be probably hazardous for you.
No, not at all. I have no known allergies. But what will I bring as a present?
You don't need to bring a present.
I'm a house guest. I have to bring something.
But I'm invited. You can bring a bottle. I will tell you which wine. So, I will visit you. We will look at the feet. We will get a story together why we know each other and from where. And I need to practice that. That I can at least try to look honest about that.
You're not good at lying, are you?
Not really.
That's a very good personality trait.
Sometimes it's really bad.
It
It
means
would
you
be
can
helpful
be trusted.
if I could. Well, but in life sometimes lying brings you. It would be easier in this situation.
I don't know. I don't know. And then her phone rings.
Mm-hmm.
She takes out the phone. Well, it's kind of like a message sound. Hold on. She opens her bag, unzips one of the compartments and takes out a notebook. Opens it, does a Bluetooth connection to her phone, types, looks very, very intensely onto the screen. The feed will be up in about 2 hours.
Okay.
You can see that she's really pleased. And something
That's
tells you
quick.
that she will be staring at the screen regardless of if something moves or not.
Just to make sure, please don't look at the feed for days and days and days and days. You have a life. Please go out. Get
No,
sleep.
I will go to the shop and work because I have to earn my money.
Don't have the laptop open while you work.
No.
Have a look at it.
It will be at home.
Sure. Nothing will happen.
You don't know that.
And set an alert if something moves. Then you can have a look. You will lose your mind over this, won't you? I should have never given the idea to set up surveillance.
No, I won't be losing my mind. I'm a stable person. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm stable. You know what they say? I'm a stable genius.
Yeah. That will look at the same feed. Nothing will happen for days and days and days.
I'm not asking you to do it.
No, but you should not either. What will it help you to see nothing happens?
It'll satisfy my curiosity.
But technology is good enough to tell you if something happened, that then you should look.
I know. I know. Still.
You get random messages from me telling you to close the freaking laptop, you know that, right?
She laughs. And then she says, but I really need to go home now. So how about you combine 4 days?
That makes sense. Then we make a plan, and I will also maybe have an idea when you can come by for dinner.
All right. You part ways. It's Les Halles, so it's not far away. Basically, there's a metro there, so she takes her metro. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I will take the metro to go back home.
Okay. Do you tell anybody about your outing?
No.
No. Do you think that they want to know where you went on the Saturday?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I highly suspect they just think she will be, I don't know, at university learning out and about. I don't think they would snoop around.
Do you want to do anything else?
I think over the next days, at least Amelie would try to come up with a story where she met Celeste.
Okay.
Because she can't... The thing is, meeting at uni is one thing, but clearly Celeste is not studying the same thing as Amelie, or she's a horrible student. So it's really the question on where we met. And Amelie at the moment is just like, she's has different ideas, but she's just throwing them out of the window. Because the idea, we met at the store, Amelie is not reading that kind of material, so no, we would not meet at a store like that. So she's going back and forth, and at the moment she's unsure about it.
Okay. The fourth day approaches. Do you go to her place?
Yes.
You go to the place.
Also in between, at least twice or 3 times a day, Celeste will get at random times WhatsApp from Amelie, like, close the laptop, look at something else.
You get different types of emojis. Sometimes it's the monkey with the hands over its eyes, kind of going, caught me there. And you finally make your way up to the 5th floor. You ring the bell.
Yep.
The door opens. In front of you, you see Ash. Today she is wearing full regalia, so including all of the information about her band, which is called Les Enterres Vivants, the Living Dead. She looks at you. She has a cigarette in her mouth. She takes it out and she says,
Salut.
I know you.
I know. You're Ash.
You know me. You know my name.
Well, I've been here before. She will hand out her hand.
She shakes your
Amelie.
hand. Yes, yes, Amelie, I remember you. You were the girl that they dragged out. The police.
Yeah.
And you are here because?
Celeste invited me over.
Celeste invited you over. This has never happened before. Celeste? And she shouts. And you hear her, yes? Are you sure? It seems like you invited someone. Did you really do that? And Celeste is like, she comes out of the door, which says actually keep out. Yes, I did invite someone. Why is that? It says, you never invite people.
We are working on it. One day we will crack her and she will be social.
She drags on her cigarette and she says, that's a bonus point for you. I keep score.
She's hard to break through. She's stubborn.
Tell me about it. You know, I'm telling you, it is really... Do you know how often I've tried to invite her to one of my concerts? I mean, she would get pride of place. I mean, first row. I've tried to introduce her to everyone, from the drummer to the bassist to the guitarist. They adore her. She doesn't react. There is people there, says Ash. That's what she said to me. There's people there.
She tried that with me as well.
I commiserate. She's a hard one.
Yeah, but you need a life outside that.
Ash looks at Celeste and says, "May I ask you to listen? This lady speaks reason. I like you."
I like you too, although I'm curious what kind of music you do. Based on the name, I suspect not the friendly romantic pop music. With a grin.
She says, "Hold on." She walks away. She walks quite quickly. She comes back with 2 CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy.
Awesome. I will bring them by after I heard them.
You can have them.
Are you sure?
Yes,
How much do you want for them?
they're a present for putting up with her. You deserve something to rest the nerves.
Well, thank you. I'm curious.
And what do you know about music?
I think just the general knowledge a normal person has that listens to.
Okay.
I think Amelie is more into radio rock pop.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of chanson, but not too experimental. Maybe a little bit folk, but yeah, more the easygoing music.
Okay. So the covers basically are both black. And it just says Les enterres vivants 1, Les enterres vivants 2. So it's like,
Amelie is suspecting, I don't know, like what I call scream music, so metal or so, or
you do know that they've got a bassist, a drummer.
might be punk. That would be nicer. But Amelie will listen to it because she's still curious, and you can always learn.
And Celeste
Then-
rolls her eyes at Ash. And she says, "Maybe you could just stay out of my private life." And then Ash says, "You don't have one."
Well, she has.
And Ash gives you a smile, and you notice it's a genuine smile. She seems very happy about the fact that this one is finally talking to people that are not trying to buy stuff from her. She invites you in.
I will go in. I will give her a nudge. Ash is not too bad. And
I
she's
think
people, you know that, right? So you have contact to people.
Yeah, but she's Ash. She's
She's
when
still
nobody's
people.
looking, I actually refer to her as my friend.
I think she's a good friend. She's for sure not afraid to punch someone if they misbehave.
Yes, there was this boy, and he basically wanted to bring me something. It was an errand, and she thought that he was stalking me. She beat him up.
It's good to have a friend like that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who looks out for you. Never hurts.
She did visit him in the ER and gave him flowers. He was very confused after that.
Well, you also need to be able to learn from your mistakes.
Mm-hmm. She's never punched anyone since that I know.
That's a good direction. See, you have a good influence on her.
You see the room. The room is meticulous.
Does it look basically like the last time?
Yeah, it
Awesome.
does. If anything, she's upgraded her laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Sit wherever you like." Well, there is a beanbag, there is the bed, and that's it.
Well, I would stand at the desk having a look at probably
When you
the
do this, she
laptop
gets
being
up and lets you sit
open.
down at the desk and...
No. You stay sit. I can stand for
No,
a little.
no, you're my guest.
We are... This is work, kind of.
All right. So she basically shows you the feed.
I guess nothing happened.
They have mice.
Okay, that is not surprising.
No, it's not. So nobody came in, nothing happened, nothing moved. But I've been thinking, if this thing simply opens, the question is, would it register as movement?
I think a camera would realize when something appears that was not there before.
So, and she says, this is the live feed now, basically. So the way that's been set up is, if there is movement, then there will be an alert. Other than that, and it starts recording. Other than that, the feed is just there and doesn't record. It's just showing.
Yeah.
And she basically cycles through. You see 6 or 7 camera angles. And it's infrared. So it's this greenish tint. And there is nothing there. It's really like it looked like before. There is nothing that's warm, except for you do notice a couple of mice scurrying around. They are clearly visible because they're much warmer than the stone. She says it's nondescript. Nobody's been in. Not even the surveillance people. No one. So they've set it up and they've left. That's it. So
It means that we are the only one knowing when the room and where, especially the room or shop.
yeah,
I suspect
I've also
someone
I've-
knows it will happen this year.
I've
But
also
they
spoken
don't
to
know where.
Eric. They have held back the painting. They've returned the other ones.
Okay.
There's a cover story around it. It got damaged and it's being repaired.
Was there a buyer for that painting?
It hadn't been auctioned yet. And we didn't know if anybody had basically put in a phone bid. There were no records of anybody bidding up front. So
Okay.
looks like no.
Probably not. Well,
But
it's not a pretty picture, so I think that's the one. At least normal people who looked at all the other stuff would have just blankly skipped, irritated why it's there.
yeah, because it is a weird one. What I don't know is, do you think that the owner, Monsieur Dulac, knew what he had? Or do you think he just had this really weird taste? Because, I mean, it's odd. It doesn't fit in with the rest of his collection at all.
The question is where he got it from.
That's interesting. I've never thought about it. Is there something you could trace?
Not sure. We would need to ask maybe the family if they know. Was it passed down or did he buy it somewhere?
Maybe we should.
We can give it a go. I'm not sure if the family is interested in giving answers.
Well, I mean, they're trying to sell it. They want the money. That's the idea now.
Well, then we should maybe send them. Well, the question is,
I mean, he's still alive. He's trying to sell off this because he wants to do the spacewalk thing. So at the moment, only some of his estate has been sold. The paintings are still there. They will not be sold for a while, and this one we're keeping back. I mean, you could go and talk to him and say you're restorating it. And did he know anything about the provenance? I mean, that wouldn't even be a lie, because you can restore art. It's what you do.
that is true.
Just not that you're restoring this painting.
No, it doesn't really need restoring.
But you could pretend.
We should visit them together.
Well, I can be your assistant, taking notes and stuff. We should do that.
Then let's. Emily will look at the clock.
We can ask
do it
Eric for
now?
the proper. Yeah, we can ask Eric for the proper information, because we would have to get ID that says we're from the auctioneers. But he can get that arranged.
If you can get that arranged, I think that would be a good idea to learn a little bit more.
And do you know what we could do? Maybe we could ask if he's got more paintings like this. I mean, you could even talk to him about, does he know more
Who
about
was
it?
Especially who was also the painter, because I have no
Yeah.
idea who the painter is.
Yeah, it could be that there's a story attached to it that he can share. I think we should really do this before the 1st of April.
Definitely. So would you mind giving Eric a call and see?
No, not at all. She takes out her mobile, she types in a number, and she by the way, She stops the phone call and then she writes down the number. This is his number, just in case you ever need anything.
She will put it in her handbag.
She rings again, and Eric answers the phone, and she explains to him what you're planning on doing, and she says, tomorrow. And she covers the mouthpiece with her hand. She says, he can get us the ID by tomorrow. Oh, all right, that would be perfect. Yes? I don't know, maybe 10 is a little bit early. Let's say 11. Well, I need breakfast. We'll see you at 11 in the library. Yes, tomorrow. Yeah, thank you very much. Bye. And she hangs up and she says, well, tomorrow he'll have the ID for us by 11. Then we can ring him, Monsieur Dulac, and make an appointment.
Awesome.
I think we've got a plan. Because, I mean, like you said, I mean, you were right, nothing's happening here, so we might just as well use our time differently. I mean, of course, does that even fit in with your studies?
I guess I will have to call in sick and we'll just ask the professor on what I have to catch up with.
And you work at
just
the
a
shop? Oh, and did you come up with a brand of wine that I should bring?
Amelie will give her name of a red wine.
She writes it down.
I still have no idea how we met and what to tell. Because we clearly did not meet at university, because it would be difficult for you to hold up an art discussion with Isabel or Nicola.
You came to my shop and bought something?
They will never believe that.
We met online talking about statues of Kukul Khan, and I was looking for one and you had one?
Also will not work. I told Isabel I'm looking for the statue for a friend. So
Telling her that I'm that friend?
Yeah, but again, where did we meet? Wait, and Amelie will open again the university site and see if there are any other studies that would fit more into Celeste's area of knowledge, because we could have met on basically at the university, even studying different things.
She knows a lot, and really a lot, about pyramids in Egypt and Latin America. That's her thing.
So archaeology-ish. Then maybe we met at uni.
And I dropped out.
Yeah, and we just crossed over and we stayed in contact.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay, and if they ask what you do, you're working at the comics book, manga, nerd store.
Otaku. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, just a small lie. We met at university.
Maybe they don't even want to know how we met. Maybe they don't care. All right, I take that
You
back.
haven't met them.
No, I haven't.
They care, which is probably a good thing.
Well, of course, I mean, because for all you know, I'm a serial killer. And you fit my victim pattern exactly.
I think they are just generally very interested. in me and my life, because I'm kind of part of the family now.
That's great.
I need to warn you about the additional house.
You have 2 houses? I'm
No,
impressed.
it's about, I'm thinking about how to call it. They all feel like the house belongs to them. They're like this big, very furry, very demanding,
Your cats.
and they will test you.
Okay. Should I bring
I will
tuna?
help. No. They get enough food already. They're spoiled.
So if they like me, everybody else will like me too? And if they hate me, nobody will like me? Is that how this works?
Maybe you should have tuna. We will. I will give you some snacks that you can have in your pocket.
They will test me. I'm very good at maths. Does that help?
No, just give them snack and some scritches if they want. Let them approach, not approach them. They give the. Now it's time to.
And will I also get a manual for how to handle Isabel and what was his name? Nicolas? How do I deal with them? Will I wait for them to approach? And then give them snacks?
No, they are just normal, nice, warm people. It might be that you get an initial hug. You definitely will get
She looks
the
mortified.
usual, like welcome, kiss, left, right, you know? Isabel, Isabel, Emily will sit down and she will describe Isabel. So she's very warm. Older lady, very colorful, loves cats, obviously. A bit quirky and very welcoming. She has a lot of friends, she knows a lot of people, a lot of things, random things. She has the biggest heart I think a person can have.
And you have a lot of love for her, don't you?
Well, she gave me a place to stay.
Well,
and a home.
I can tell.
And Nicolas is her nephew.
Nephew, yeah.
I still want to say granny. I know he's a nephew. So he's our age roughly, and he's just generally a good guy. A little bit nerdy.
I can see the resemblance.
And he's just there for his aunt, helping the best he can.
I'm looking forward to meeting all 9 of them.
Which
To the
brings me
cats.
out of game again to the list of names of cats I still haven't written down.
Yeah, we only have one, and his name's Toulouse.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think, okay. I mean, I will probably not be able to speak during the meeting. You can just tell them that I've got laryngitis or something.
You'll be fine.
I can't even talk to them because I don't know what to talk about.
Oh, it's easy to find something. Believe
Yeah,
me.
but then, somebody talks to me about something other than my work, and then I blush and I get all tongue-tied and everything ends terribly.
I just need to throw in Egypt or something like that, and I'm quite sure you and at least Isabel will have a fun discussion.
I'll do
Or
my
I
very
can
best.
throw in mangas, and I'm quite sure Nicolas at least knows a little bit about that. Or he might be curious that you can tell him about the store and where it is and what you have there.
You can make a intelligence roll.
Oh, double 6.
Ooh.
14 plus 3. It's a 17 and a 2 on the stunt die.
Okay, 17 and a 2 on the stunt die, because you do remember one thing. A couple of days ago, he was very tired because he had been at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
And the lead singer he described looks exactly like Ash.
Oh boy.
And he said
When
that
that hits, Amelie is like... We might also have another topic you can talk to, but although you don't like Ash's music, do you?
I do. It's just that I don't go to concerts, but I like the music. It's hard rock.
Because now I'm quite sure I heard the music before.
Oh, and you didn't like it? You don't have to listen to the CDs, just don't tell her.
No, I will listen to the CDs because now I know who does the music. I usually just hear not so much the singing. I just hear the bass from next door. Because Nicola, I highly can bet that he was just a few days on a concert of Ash group.
No, yeah, they were performing.
Yeah, it's so if he learns that you are living with, we can decide if we want to play that card or not.
Well, she does have a lot of fans. And
Oh,
she does sign autographs. I mean, just between you and me, they are quite successful. She makes a living making music, and I'm told that this is quite rare.
I think it is. I'm curious to at least listen to it once.
You know what? She actually studied music before she went crazy, like her parents say. I just say she followed her dream. But she went to the conservatory.
Well, then she knows her stuff.
She can read and write music. She does. She doesn't want to talk about it, and she doesn't want to be reminded, but...
But yeah, so it might be just in case. But they will not... We will be fine. So Amelie will give Celeste also. They will look at the calendars and find
a date.
A date. Probably the weekend is not the worst idea. So maybe a Sunday evening.
Yeah, Sunday evening. Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
I will have snacks for you that you can be sneaky on the cats
and bribe them.
Exactly. And, well, you know, a bottle of wine, you don't have to really.
No,
but
I will.
If it makes you feel better, then...
It would make me feel a lot better. Because then
Isabel will love that gesture, I'm sure.
Because then we have something to talk about. And I won't have to wring my hands while I'm waiting at the door.
And, looking forward to have you there. But then, first of all, tomorrow...
Yes,
11 a.m. we will meet at the library.
How about we meet at 11 a.m., then we make an appointment, and then we go for lunch?
That sounds like a good idea.
Perfect. Perfect.
Awesome. Then I will go. I will listen to this. She will put the CDs in her handbag now. And,
where everything else is, yeah.
Where everything else is. And she will... probably give Celeste a little hug and like the French
Celeste hugs you back.
Left kiss, right kiss. I'm still unsure, although I should know about if it's 2 or 3 times. But and then she would leave if Ash is still there. Give her a wave.
Ash is sitting in the kitchen. She is tuning her guitar and drinking coffee. She waves back and she says, "Enjoy."
See you around, and then Amelie will leave and we'll go back home. And
You
we'll
go-
also let Isabel know that on Sunday a friend would come over for dinner if that would be okay.
A friend?
From uni. And you know, she has really troubles like finding a group to hang out with.
Does she know?
You know, if people are too smart and too unsure about themselves, I think that not too smart, she's just very smart. And I get along quite well with her, so I think it would help her to meet people and have to talk to them.
Isabel has known you for how long now?
I guess at least 5 years. Maybe.
How many times have
Probably
you
around
brought
6.
somebody home?
Never. I'm quite
Yeah.
sure she heard names here and there from uni, but never.
You can see a knowing smile on her face. And she says, of course.
Does she have any preferences as to food, or can she eat anything?
She didn't give me any restrictions.
And
She's
you've
not
seen her-
allergic to cats. She
Yeah.
loves food, so she has a good taste.
Yeah, and you would have noticed that whenever you met, she was eating something, and she's really not particular. She will eat the whole menu up and down. So she's never even said, oh, I can't eat this or I don't like that. But she basically would have been really random as well, because you've been to lunch or dinner at least 3 times at this stage. And she would have really picked very different things, not like always going for the pasta or always going for this or that. So it's a good bet that she can eat, that she eats everything. Yeah.
Maybe we will do salad as entree and then a nice quiche or so, and then something afterwards.
Mousse au chocolat or tiramisu, it's your pick.
Or crème brûlée.
Or crème brûlée.
And yeah, I will organize everything for food.
Let me handle this. You look after your guest. I will look after the food. She's my guest as well, isn't she?
Then we do it together. At least
We can do it
prepare.
together.
I cut things and.
Yeah, and Nicola can make the salad. He should also be joining in. I'm letting him off way too lightly. And you hear like a voice from next door. What do you mean? I cleaned my room. Yes,
Well,
but
it
you
would be
didn't clean the
nice.
living room.
It would be nice to have you on board. And just curiously, Nico, the band you were at the concert at, what was the name again?
Les Enterres Vivants. They're super. I've got all their CDs.
Okay, so you already have the 2 I have. Okay. And by now also I'm quite sure. Oh no, we just got home. It's well, never mind. She would just stop mid.
Nicola
Sentence.
comes in.
Yeah.
He looks a bit grungy, little bit unkempt. Maybe he's had another late night, and he's like, "Since when are you interested in that kind of music?"
Well, since I learned that Celeste's roommate is the singer of exactly that band.
He looks
And
at
she
me and he says,
gave me these 2 CDs. She will pull it directly out of her handbag. I'm not sure if it's my music, but at least I
"It's
will
the
give it a
Black
listen.
Edition."
So you don't. I will just listen to it once, and then you can have it.
He basically, his eyes fall almost literally out of their sockets. He's like,
The Black Edition? You can only get them at the concerts, and it's like a limited print of, I want to say, 250 each.
Well, Ash gifted them to me.
You can't buy
I-
them. You cannot
I
buy
can
them.
listen to...
And he says, don't go away. And he runs upstairs and he comes down and he brings you 2 CDs, Les Enterres Vivants, un, deux, but they look different and they have the picture of the band on them.
Should we just exchange? You get the pretty ones, I take the normal ones. You appreciate that much more than I do.
There are 2 extra tracks on each of them that are not sold either. I mean, what you have here, you could sell this. You could make money with this.
I'm not selling this. It was a gift. The question is, do you want to have them after I listen to them? Yes or no?
You have to keep them. They're going to be so much... They're going to be very valuable in a couple of years. They are a present from... You spoke to Ash? What is she like?
A nice, normal person? I did not
And?
talk much about music. I was not there to visit her. I was there to meet up with Celeste. It was more a like hi and bye.
Nice
Nice to meet you thing.
He's now trying to think why anyone who has the chance to speak to Ash would speak to some random person named Celeste instead. It doesn't compute.
Okay, I will listen to the music. I will give you the CDs then, and you can do whatever you like with them.
I will... I should actually put them somewhere safe. Never listen to them again, just in case something breaks.
But you should at least see and listen the extra tracks. It would be very sad if they are not listened
Yes,
to.
and I will basically turn them into... I will put them into my laptop and I will actually rip them. But then never listen to the CDs again because something could break. They are very valuable.
And Amelie's like, I just plonked them into my handbag.
Are you saying this?
No, but she's like looking at her bag and is like, okay, I will still listen to them.
Yeah, he looks kind of like really... his eyes hang on those CDs and you can tell that he's like... She spoke to her and only said hi and bye.
Should I ask her for an autograph next time I see her?
He blushes and he's like,
Do you think you could say and ask her to sign it for Nicolas?
I'm quite sure she would do that.
Really? Do you think she would sign the sleeve of this CD?
and he takes out the sleeve of one of his CDs.
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Why not?
You see, I stood in line for 2 hours for an autograph.
But it was like 3:30 and they basically packed up and I could understand why, because they must have been up all day and practicing and stuff. So basically then, so I didn't get one. I mean, that would be...
Do you think she would do that?
Again, yes.
You must not tell her my last name, because if I ever meet her and I introduce myself, then she will think I'm crazy.
No, she would just enjoy that you are someone who likes her music. Probably much different to me, because I highly suspect I will not like it.
I've always known that you have no taste in music. Les Enterres Vivants are the best group to come out of France since Gesh Party, and she was 1986.
Sure. You know, like Taylor Swift says, there are much other music styles that are much nicer to the ears.
the name Taylor Swift hits him to the quick. Cuts to the core. Yes. And he walks out singing My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. and Isabel is like, when it comes to music, the two of you don't really see eye to eye, do you?
No, because on a bad day I would not even call music what he's listening to, but okay.
But you seem to have met some kind of musical goddess.
Well, I think she knows music quite well. She studied it, but and she's just a nice person.
But she's not that... So you have made two friends.
Well, no, Ash is not my friend. Ash I just met because she's living or having... They are sharing the flat. So when I visit Celeste, Ash is there. So I'm not the person... You know me. I'm at least not going through and just ignoring like I'm not there, don't talk to... That's not me.
No, it's not you. But I think Nicolas sees you in a very different light now. Maybe you should try and invite Ash over one time. No, don't, because this nephew of mine will not be able to say a single word when she's here.
I think we would all be highly embarrassed about what will happen then. No.
She chuckles, she laughs, she says,
I will get him the autograph.
And she kisses you on the forehead and she says, that's very lovely of you.
Then I will go upstairs and I will listen to the music, so I'm done with it.
You go upstairs.
Yep.
Open. The door is slightly ajar. Toulouse is lying in bed.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at you, purring, stretching.
I will just drop my handbag on the floor and I will walk over to my CD player. We'll put in the CD. I have headphones with it because I'm a good person who listens to music on the headphones, so not the whole house has to listen to it. And I will just plonk myself, probably just drop myself on the bed and we'll start listening to the first album.
Okay, basically you listen to the album and you notice a couple of things. Number one, it is probably really not your music. Number two, she can sing.
Mm-hmm.
She sometimes does scream, but there is real singing and she can sing. She has a slightly smoky voice, which is not unlike her speaking voice. I don't know what Taylor Swift sounds like. But for example, she doesn't sound like Adele.
Yeah.
So it's a very different register. But she can sing. And for the type of music that they make, her singing voice works.
Then I think Amelie will focus more on the text. And will she will listen through it. And then she will put in the second one as well and will listen through it. And then she will knock at Nicolas' door.
Yes, come in.
I will open the door and I will peek my head inside and just hand over. Here you go. Definitely not my music, but she has a good voice.
He takes the CDs reverently and he says, what can I give you?
The other CDs so I can get them signed for you. Come on.
He's a bit surprised at your prosaic way to look at things. He hands you the CDs and he basically holds on to the ones that you've given him, treasuring them.
I'm sorry, I think one of them there's a scratch because I just threw them in my handbag with the keys. It's just the outside packaging.
He
the
breathes
CD is fine. The CD is fine. without any scratches.
I can always, switch out the jewel case, no problem at all. And he basically then reverently puts the first CD into the stereo, turns it on. He doesn't have headphones. The whole house can now enjoy.
I will just probably walk over, just turning the volume a little bit lower, and I would like to listen to my music, thank you, and then I would close the door behind me while I leave.
You close the door behind you, you leave, you go to your room. Toulouse has now decided that now is his time, and he jumps into your arms, and we shall leave it there. And you hear loud purring.
A happy cat.
A happy cat. So thank you very much for playing.
Thank you for telling the story with me.
And we will talk to all of you in 2 weeks. Until then,
Yes.
à bientôt.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.